Having a good time is anything but priceless these days. Lower and working class families are having a harder and harder time financing their sports. Hockey, football, figure skating, dancing are just some examples of sports that are incredibly expensive and that working class and lower class people might have a hard time affording. Hockey Opportunity Camp, which is a pretty well-known 6-day room and board hockey camp, was $895 last year. Who's going to be able to afford this? Not the working class families and the lower class families who live paycheck to paycheck, but the upper class families. Whose kids are going to get the opportunities associated with a camp like this? The upper class families. These are what you call financial
barriers.
Barriers.
There's so many barriers preventing the working and lower class from participating in sports, such as equipment costs, registration fees, and access to facilities, programs, tournaments, and all the money costs associated with medicine, nutrition, physio, rehab. These are just a few. It's the name of the many and many
barriers. These scenarios should probably give you a better idea of how financial pressures can affect athletes. Pressures from their coaches, teammates, and the league may have a very profound effect on them.
Hey Mario, when are you going to get a new stick, bud?
I don't need a new stick, dude.
We've had that for like 10 years. You should probably get a new one now.
No, I don't need one, man. This is a great stick.
Well, the whole team just bought some new Eastons, so you're kind of on your own if you keep that one.
Man, it doesn't matter what kind of stick you have. It's the hands on the stick that matter.
Okay, well, honestly, it looks like you just picked that up off the side of the road.
That's enough, man. My stick's fine. I just don't know what to do anymore. I work 2 part-time jobs just trying to cover my registration fees, and I can barely do that. My parents don't have a lot of money, so they can't help me out. Mark's telling me to buy a new stick, but I just can't afford it. Hockey's a really expensive sport.
Hey Commissioner, good to see you again.
You too, Mr. Whitman. I have some unfortunate news for you. We had a conference and all the other schools voted your team out for the football league.
What? Why?
Your equipment just isn't up to date and you just can't compete against the other players.
It's not up to date? Well, is there anything we can do?
Well, if you can afford to buy new equipment, but all the other coaches are pretty stern in their decision.
All my players have been trying to raise money for this tournament. Like, they've been working day out, like hours and hours of work. This is gonna hurt the feeling so much.
Sorry, there's just nothing I can do.
This is not gonna go over well. Alright team, got some bad news to tell you guys. We won't be able to play in this weekend's tournament anymore.
What? Why? We've been spending so long preparing for it.
Well, we didn't raise enough money, so we can't buy any new equipment, and then the league says our equipment's just not good enough anymore.
But we tried so hard and we raised so much money, Coach.
There's nothing else we can do, guys.
Why?
Just want to play football.
Hey, Coach.
Hi Maddie, good to see you again. Great work this practice, but now on to the important matters. We need to discuss some money. So, you know that junior championships are coming up, and firstly that's going to be $200 to register. And my hotel's going to be probably about $130 a night because I like a suite. And we're there for 3 nights, and we should probably fly, so my flight will be $200 and yours the same. And if you want to bring any of your family members, it's the same. And you should probably start taking more dance classes because that's what all the other competitors are doing.
Okay, but you know, with my situation, it's gonna be hard to pay for all that right now. So, like, maybe we could cut something out, or...
Well, I just don't think you'll be able to compete at the top level if you cut anything out. You can't be as good as I once was if you're not putting yourself all out there.
Okay. I can't believe that Coach is making me pay all of this money when she knows my family situation and she knows that there's no way I can afford all of this. And I just want to fire her, but I'll be nothing without her. It's so expensive.
It's unlikely that we'll be able to drastically change sports as they exist in our society today. Sports are expensive, and it's likely that they'll stay that way. However, there are small things we can do to improve the situation for lower class and working class people. Initiating caps on the expenses they might have to pay is a great way of reducing expenses. Mandatory fundraising is a critical component of a season. So maybe they raise a certain amount of money before every season is a great way to raise some extra money for the team. If a school is donated to, the school board should take that money and distribute it equally amongst the schools of the school board. Lastly, clothing and equipment drives are a great way to recycle used clothing and equipment to poorer individuals. So, as you can see, there are things we can do. Any bit counts.
The most powerful companies in sports, such as Nike, Bauer, Adidas, Speedo, and Schutt, are restricting the amount of supply of goods made available to the public, which in turn allows them to control how much or the prices of these goods. We need to encourage and make it easier for smaller based companies to compete with these larger ones, which will bring the prices down, and make it easier for people with not as much money to purchase these goods and participate in organized sports.